Hello friends, am I audible? All of you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for waiting and thanks for your confirmation. All of you can hear me?
Hi,
Yes, we can hear.
hi Venkatesh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for waiting. Yes, Sagar.
Yeah, so better change your name as I told you in the call so that student can recognize the trainer. Hi,
Yes, we can hear.
hi.
Okay, fine. Is it okay now? Okay, so Sagar, shall I start?
Yes, Venki. Yeah, you can start.
Okay, fine. Okay, just a minute. I'll share the screen and we'll start it. Sorry guys, now I come back. So we can proceed. I'll share my screen. Okay, hope now I'm audible and we can proceed.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Sagar, could you please make me as a presenter? I'm unable to share the screen. So it is display host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yes, Venki, can you just recheck now?
Yeah. Yes, I'm able to present the screen now. Okay, so once again, good evening to all and thanks for joining. So myself, Venki. So I'm a senior cloud consultant. I'm working as a cloud consultant and I'm having an experience of 12 years. So last 6 years, I'm working as a cloud and DevOps engineer. Okay, so here came here for taking the training of AWS and Linux. So this is our first day class. So today here we are going to go through about what are the things which you are going to learn in this training. Okay, in this overall course, right? What are the things which you are going to have? So ultimately, I can say this is a majorly it is for agenda. What was our upcoming sessions in our upcoming classes? So this will be a good interactive session. First of all, it is going to be. So before I'm moving on to the session, so I want to be know about individual. So why you need join these courses, what is your requirement. So I want to understand each and everyone, so then only the training also will be interactive and it will be informative for you. So can anyone start one by one so that we can have a small intro, a short intro, that's enough to understand you. So your name and where are you from and what is the purpose why you are going with this training? A quick intro.
So yeah, this is Kash. I'm from UK, so I'm interested to improve my skill set. I'm having already network related working and the certification and all that. So over 10 plus experience and want to improve my skill set. That's the reason I'm here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is
Yes.
Hemant from Nepal, and basically I'm a network engineer. So I'm expecting this AWS in the perspective of the network engineer, and then I want to learn more about Linux for the network engineer. What are the things that we are going to study for the network engineer? What is required for the network engine. Basically, I'm focusing on the network engine, what AWS and then Linux required for the network engineer. Thank you.
My name is KDM from US. I'm a network engineer, 5 years experience. And my goal over here is moving to cloud and also security cloud. So because as we all know, things are moving. I mean, everything is moving toward the cloud. So that's the reason why I'm here with you guys. Thanks.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Next one.
Hello, it's me, Zahid Latif. I'm from UK. One of my friends also is also interested in this AWS and probably Azure as well, Microsoft Azure as well. My background is I'm just CCNA, and I'm definitely looking forward to do some further cloud certifications, probably Azure or AWS. I will later on decide which one is the better, either AWS or Azure. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lucky from US. I am a network engineer as well, and I'm doing this clouds, in order to broaden my horizon and to dive into the cloud, because everything is moving to cloud now. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Togba Dennis from US, and my background is CCNA, CCNP. Basically, I want to move up to the cloud environment because of the market, and also want to get some Linux experience. Thank you.
Yes, please. The next one.
Hey, hi, this is Santosh from India. So, I'm working as a network support engineer here in India. So, I would like to go through this, Amazon Web Service. I want to get more knowledge about this cloud technologies because of this current situation of current market strategy. So everyone is requesting, a request for AWS, Azure, GCD, like that. So I would like to go through this.
Okay. So anybody wants to share?
Hello everyone, my name is Ali. I'm a San Juan pathologic engineer, and currently I am working with one company here in Dubai. So I'm sorry, right now I'm driving, so I cannot share my details further. So please start up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for your intro. Almost everyone, I think you have given about your intro. So I'm happy to see you all here, and I could understand the people you are joined here from a different background. Okay, so and you have a good experience on your own technology. So let's get into our latest technology, which is a cloud, and all of you eager to study on this new technology, cloud. So in that way, as you know about the AWS, Azure, and GCP, so this three cloud service provider is the topmost cloud service provider, especially AWS, Azure, and GCP, and they are all well competitive to each other as well. So among these three, AWS is a superior, and AWS having a good experience in these cloud services, and also they are providing very good services to all, and it is very I can say like the performance wise and all the things. So total, I can say like they can deliver their services efficiently to all kind of customers. So that is the reason still they are in the top market, and it is very superior to other as well. So in that way, you all joined here for AWS and Linux, the compo course like AWS and Linux. In that way, you should be aware of what are the things which you are going to cover on this session. So since it is a first day session, I don't want to make it more technical on this session. Okay, so that's the reason what I'll do. I'll go for taking about agenda, what and all we are going to cover in this session totally. Okay, so those things we can see today's session. So let me tell one by one. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, so in that way, from where we are going to start. So before moving on to the technical part, first we are going to see about introduction to cloud computing. Okay, and I can say like the quick history of cloud, why we need that. So that will be our agenda first. Okay, so next to that, what I can say like we will go for and before to that, I want to convey one more thing. So overall, the session timing will be 9 to 10:30 maximum, 9 to 10 minimum. We need a 1 hour. Okay, and next to that, the overall time will be maximum. You can allocate your time to 10:30 up to 10:30, and the total duration will be Monday to Friday. Okay, every week Monday to Friday, 9 to 10:30. You can allocate. You can freeze your time. Okay, so next to that, I'm going to tell about one by one. So just a minute, friends. Sorry guys, sorry, I was in mute. Now I come back. Okay, so I just now I conveyed about the time. Time is maximum. It's 9 to 10:30 every day, Monday to Friday in a week. So the time will be regular. Now, as I said, I'm going to clear about the agenda, what we are going to learn in this sessions. Okay, overall in this course, what is our schedule. So in that way, first I started about introduction to cloud computing. In this introduction to cloud computing, I'm going to start from the very scratch. Okay, I'm going to start from the scratch only. So here we are going to discuss about how the computing started first. Okay, what is meant by data center. To know about the cloud computing, right? Basically, you need to start from the data center. So we are going to explain what is meant by data center, how the client server client architecture is there. Okay, what are the challenges in the physical environment? Okay, what is the challenges in the physical data center, and what is meant by virtualization? Why need a virtualization? So how the cloud computing is evolving? Okay, from which technology cloud computing arrives? So those kind of detail we are going to discuss on this introduction to cloud computing, and also why the people are moving into the cloud in real time, and what are the benefits of cloud. So based on that only we are moving into the cloud, right? So those kind of thing we are going to discuss on the first day session of introduction to cloud computing. So next to that, after knowing about the cloud computing and the things, the essential of cloud things, next we want to know how people are deploying the cloud. Okay, what are the cloud modules are there? What are the types which we can deploy our cloud technology in our organization? So that thing, moreover, it will be a private cloud, public cloud, or hybrid cloud. So I'm going to explain in detail private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, but people may aware of this also. Still you will be confusing on what is the difference between private cloud and hybrid cloud, what is public cloud it's exactly. So you may have idea, but still I'm going to give an in detail idea about all this cloud type. Maybe some people may have an idea about this as well. So everyone, okay, at last everyone going to be know what is cloud, why we need cloud, how the cloud computing is working, what is the technology behind that, okay, how they are able to deliver the services effectively, what are the things which are they are taking. So those kind of models we are going to see about, we are going to discuss about on this introduction to cloud computing, and the types of cloud computing also we are going to see. Next to that, what kind of cloud service model they are providing. So especially we can say about something called as a software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Overall, this cloud services, right? Overall, this cloud services is delivering in this three way only. So we are saying like cloud computing, cloud computing. What is cloud computing as a result? Okay, as a recipient, who is going to receive, and how they are going to receive this service. So the service you can receive in three way, either software as a service, or platform as a service, or infrastructure as a service. Okay, so this also we are going to discuss on the part of introduction. And next to that, so I'm going to go by one only, so I'm not going to rush anything. Okay, so day by day your knowledge going to be improved, okay, theoretically as well as practical as well. Hands-on also you will have it. So before moving on to the hands-on, right, we should be clear about the concept. So that's the reason we are giving an introduction on the cloud, and then we are taking one by one. So after learning about the basics of cloud, why we need cloud, what are the types of cloud, and what are the service of the cloud, then we are moving on to the basic concept of Linux as well. Why? Because you people mostly from the networking background, or even you may not from the networking background, or you are from the different background. But when you're going for a landing with the cloud, right, definitely you should have some hands-on on Linux. So that's the reason we are going to tell about some Linux basics. Okay, so Linux basics and its administration, I can say. And then you are going to know about the, so even first we have a dedicated session with the Linux, but apart from that, as a cloud, okay, when we want to get into the cloud, Linux basics commands also you should be aware of that, and Linux basic administration you should do know that. So that's the reason we are going with this Linux basics as well. So next to that, I'm going to talk about AWS services one by one. So before moving into the services, right, I'll give a quick intro about the cloud. Then only you can hear about the services, right? You can understand. Okay, so this is what the service. This is what the service. At least you will get some few idea. Okay. So what I'm trying to mean it here. Let me explain you simply to understand what is meant by cloud. A cloud is nothing but a virtual resources, friends. So since you are most of you people from the networking background, I'll give you an example with the networking itself. Okay. So in real time, you are using many network devices. Okay, you can use switch, router, firewall, okay, and internet gateway, okay, modem. So you may use different network resources basically. So those resources, if you are able to get it virtually by means of any cloud service provider. So particularly I'm talking about the networking domain, but the same way, you know, right, we are from the people of technical support, okay, as of our infrastructure support. So from the infrastructure background, we have many platform. Networking is there, Windows server administration is there, Linux server administration is there, storage administration is there, security team is there, okay, development team is there, and database team is there. All together we are working as a technical support, a complete technical support. So how you are supporting for the network, the same way various background is there. So for all this background, definitely we are using the physical set of physical resources. As I said just now, right, you are handling the physical switches, routers, firewall, okay, modem, gateway. The same way other department like storage department and Windows servers, Linux servers, obviously the people are using the racks of servers, okay, and storage devices, security devices, and some software products. So all this, if it is available on virtual layer, that is called generally cloud. So as of now I'm just telling roughly for understanding in one line, but tomorrow I'm going to tell about in detail. Okay, so don't worry on that. So what I mean to say here in the sense, the cloud which you are learning, right, it is nothing but virtual environment of a physical data center. Okay, so there will be a physical data center from the cloud end. Okay, from the cloud end we are accessing the virtual resources. So thereby we are going to get the same functionality of current data center which are handling, current physical data center which are handling, right? So from there, what are the services you are going to have? So the same services you can get it through the cloud as well. So it won't impact any other thing. Okay. So I mean to say, like, the same services you are going to get it through this cloud services. Only thing is that when you go with the cloud computing, you will have very, very less maintenance. Why? Because in the cloud, there is no need of using the physical resources. Since we can eliminate the physical resources in the cloud, we are going to access only the virtual resources. Since we are going to handle only the virtual resources, okay, there is no much maintenance work as a physical resources, up to the physical resources. So fine. So that's the reason we are moving into the cloud. So as I said, guys, I'll tell you in detail in our future session. But as of now, you want to understand the services of AWS, right? That is the reason I'm giving this intro. Okay. So here, what you can say, like, okay. So 1 minute, guys. Okay, so sorry guys, I come back. So what I said, like, cloud is nothing but accessing the virtual resources from the cloud service provider. So thereby only we are able to get virtual server, okay, virtual network devices, virtual storage devices, virtual security devices. Thereby you can build the complete data center for your organization. Thereby you can build the complete virtual data center for your client, and you can deliver the services. So in that way, they are providing the services like Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2, okay, and Amazon. Okay, I can say, like, Amazon Simple Storage Service. So S3 is a simple storage service. EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Here you can have the virtual servers. From S3 you can get the virtual storage. From EBS, EBS is also part of a Elastic Compute Cloud only. Elastic Load Balancing. Elastic Load Balancing is nothing but from the Elastic Load Balancer, you can the network services kind of a load balancer. Then Amazon Relational Database Service. So from there you can get the database service. So the same way DynamoDB, that is also one kind of NoSQL. Okay, so from the RDS you can have the SQL. From DynamoDB you can get a NoSQL kind of thing. And auto scaling, which is for scaling the resources. You can go for scaling up the virtual machines, scale down the virtual machines automatically without going for any manual intervention. Automatically it can scale up the resources and scale down the resources based on the usage, or I can select based on the service input. Okay, so Yasser has asked a question like, so we are only to the cloud due to accessing the virtual resources. So what about cost of that services? Is it cheaper or expensive? Exactly. So it will be definitely it will be very cheaper when you're moving on to the cloud. That is the reason we are moving to the cloud. Comparing with the on-prem, say an example, if any new project is onboarding, okay, if any new project is onboarding means at that time you need not to spend a lot of money on investing the physical resources like physical servers, storage. Say an example, I'm a startup company, okay, I'm going to be support for a client, or I'm going to give some service for a client. So in that case, I need not to purchase lakhs of servers with the money of lakhs of servers. So simply I can go for a cloud. Okay. So based on my productivity, I can slowly increase my resources in the cloud itself. Or because I'm going to access the virtual resources. Since I'm going to access the virtual resources, cost wise it will be less only. It is cheaper only. Obviously it is right, yeah, sir. You are right. Okay. Okay, yeah, Glenn, I can hope now you can pick up me. So I think hope now I'm somewhat going slowly. So shall I move on, or any other queries? So if you have any other queries means, please let me know. So shall I move on? Okay, so as we discussed just now, I said about, right, since we are going with the cloud virtual resources, in the cloud you can get any kind of virtual resources. As I said, like it can be relating to the network, it can be relating to the storage, or it can be relating to the Windows domain or Linux domain or database team. So that is the reason, see, in the cloud you are going to get the relational databases. Relational database is nothing but database. Okay, SQL. Okay, you may hear about MySQL, MS SQL, MariaDB, or Oracle DB. So those kind of DB services you can get it through Amazon Relational Database Service. The same way Elastic Compute Cloud. So there you can get the Windows virtual machines, Linux virtual machines, or any other virtual machines you can get it. So virtual machines are nothing but, instead of physical machines, on top of the physical server, you are going to have a virtual server. So those virtual servers only we are going to access as a Windows or Linux or any other OS platform servers. So that will be Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. And simple storage service is nothing but, friends, I can say about the whatever the raw storage which you want to store, you can store it over there. I can say like you can store the data kind of media files or any script files for the developers, or you can store any script file for the DevOps engineers. Okay, so you can store your official data. So you can store any unstructured data over there. So simple storage service, you can access it like a Google Drive. How you can access like a Google Drive? The same way you can access a simple storage service as a Google Drive. As an example, I'm saying. Okay. And Santosh asked like, what are the main difference between AWS, GCP, Azure? Okay, it's a good question. I'll explain you. If you go to the GCP or Azure also, the similar kind of services will be there. Nothing but there are three vendors. There are three different cloud service provider. The main difference are nothing but they are from a different platform. Like I can say like actually that is to be true. So AWS is from Amazon, GCP from the Google, Azure from the Microsoft. But service wise, they are trying to give the same cloud services, which is a virtual data center. Only difference is that the main difference is that they are from a different vendor. There are three different cloud service provider. But I can say like the similar EC2 can be there in the Azure in the name of Azure Virtual Machine. In the GCP, it is in the same name of GCP, Compute Engine. Okay, so got it now my point? Okay, very good. Thank you, Santosh. Right, thanks for your confirmation. The same way, friends. Not only the services, every services, they have similar services in all the cloud service provider. Okay. So yeah, so as I said, like it's just a different vendors. Why I'm saying that? All are say an example. The same way you can take any other products. I can say operating system itself. We can have Microsoft is providing Windows operating system. Linux is open source, but from the Linux also you can have RHEL operating system, Ubuntu, Fedora. So even you can take a virtualization technology. Even you can take a say an example, a simple, I can say like firewall. The firewall can provide by a different firewall, Palo Alto, Checkpoint. So the purpose of firewall to secure our network. So you can bring a security, network level security, but different devices. The same way, AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, all are providing cloud services. They are providing the cloud services. All are three different vendors. Not only these three, AWS, Azure, GCP, many cloud service providers are. Even you may seen some ad in the YouTube as well, DigitalOcean, Alibaba Cloud, okay, Salesforce, many other cloud service providers also is there. Even IBM Cloud also is there. Many more cloud service providers there. But the familiar cloud service providers are AWS, Azure, GCP. Why? Because they are competing to each other. They are three different cloud service providers. Okay. So that's what I said, like the major difference between that, they are three different vendors. That's it. There are three different cloud service provider. Instead of vendor, you can use this word like cloud service provider. Okay. So Yazar has asked like, are there services in AWS not in Azure or GCP or vice versa? Okay. So services wise, I can say like concept. Say an example, as I said just before, right? EC2 is a service which is for delivering the virtual server. Okay, EC2 is a service which is used for delivering the virtual servers. Virtual servers in the sense, nothing but your Linux servers, Windows servers in the form of virtual servers. Okay, as a virtual machines. The same service in the Azure, it is called it in a different name. Obviously, there will be a patent issue will be there, right? So that's the reason they are giving in a different name, virtual machines, Azure VM. They are giving the name of Azure VM. GCP, they are saying like compute engine. So here they are saying like Elastic Compute Cloud, right? There they are calling like compute engine. But concept is compute engine is also used for delivering the virtual servers. Azure virtual machines also used for delivering the Linux virtual machines, Windows virtual machines. Got my point? What I'm saying? Yes, so now you got it. What I'm saying? Okay, fine. So yeah, thank you, Yazar. So as per the project, what they will do, usually I'm saying a general use case. Say an example, one customer is ready to migrate into the cloud. Okay, one customer is ready to migrate into the cloud means definitely they will go for either to the AWS or to the Azure or to the GCP. So either I can maintain the entire my infrastructure into the AWS or entire my infrastructure into the Azure or my entire infrastructure into the GCP. That is the usual case. But recent days, there is something called as a hybrid cloud also. Some people, how they are taking in the sense, some special service from Azure, some special service from GCP, some special service from AWS. But it will be not a usual case, somewhat rare case only. But you should be aware of that too. So which I mean to say, like, even you can go for a multi-cloud as well. So we can say like that is a multi-cloud. Some customer, they can have the cloud resources on AWS, Azure, GCP as per their convenience. Say an example, they may keep the virtual machines on virtual machines on AWS in the name of EC2. Then they can have a storage on GCP. So likewise, but it will be, as I said, like mostly they will go for a same custom, mostly they will go for a same cloud service provider. So that also, especially maximum it will be AWS. Okay, but as I said, all are cloud service provider. Okay, we can select Amazon, Azure, or Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, or GCP. All are different cloud service provider only. Okay, so no more confusion on that. But your question is valid. I agree. I really appreciate you. Hope now everyone you got the clarity about the what are the 3 service cloud provider. Okay, as I said, apart from this, we have many other cloud service provider as well. All are different vendors, and all their services are different services in the name, but concept is same. As I said, right? AWS also providing the load balancing service. Azure also providing the load balancing service. GCP also providing the load balancing service. Even DigitalOcean or Alibaba Cloud, everyone they are providing the load balancing service, but in the name is different. Here it is called it is in the name of ELB. In Azure it is called it in the name of LB, load balancer simply. In the GCP it is called in the name of network service, one of a network service load balancer. Now all of you clear, guys? Okay, so thank you, thanks for your confirmation. Right, now I'll just move on. So as I discussed just before, I think I have given a small intro about this one-by-one services, which I said like Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud is nothing but it is nothing but a virtual machines. As I said, like Windows virtual machines, Linux virtual machines, and all you can get it through this Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Simple storage service is used for storing any kind of data. Okay, to store any kind of data, as I said, like you can access it like a file server. You can access it like a Google Drive. EBS is kind of a hard disk, you know, right? So whenever you don't have a insufficient storage, then you will go for an external hard disk. The same way, elastic block storage is nothing but it's kind of a hard disk. It's nothing but a virtual hard disk only. Okay, it's a virtual hard disk only actually. Next to that, ELB, elastic load balancing. Elastic load balancing is used for balancing the load, friends. What is meant by balancing the load? Say an example. If you go for taking any websites, okay, it can be a public websites or private websites or any government sector websites or any websites. Obviously, say an example. Let's take an example like any booking system. So if there is any booking system kind of, it can be a air booking, okay, air ticket booking, or even bus ticket booking. So during the festival holidays and all, right, usually many people will request to the website. So if all the people are hitting the same website again and again, there will be much traffic. So in order to balance the traffic between all clients, we can go for an elastic load balancer. By means of load balancer, what it can do, it can distribute the received traffic. Okay, it is receiving the traffic from the internet, from the customer. Okay, after that, those traffic will be distributed to the backend servers. So it is for providing a redundancy, friends. Say an example, you are a customer, okay, you are accessing some website. So say an example, you are not getting the website. Obviously you will go for a disappointment. Okay, you are not going to be satisfied. Okay, so that's the reason we are keeping as a elastic load balancer, ELB. So what will be the result of ELB? So ELB can help us to improve the service. How? Why? Because instead of keeping a standalone, say an example, usually a web server means a web server is delivering the site. So that can be, instead of a single server, we can keep multiple server. So all the loads can be shared by all the servers. So as of now, we can just understand this a simple manner. I can tell what is meant by elastic load balancer. It is nothing but in order to deliver an effective service, in order to deliver an uninterrupted service, we can go for an elastic load balancer. So what an elastic load balancer will do? Elastic load balancer will help us to improve our service by sharing the load between the all other servers. Backend, we can have multiple servers. By means of multiple servers, it can share the load. Say an example, a simple example I can say, like personal example. None of the project, okay, can handle by a single person. Correct? So in a project means many project administrators will be the project members will be the team. Okay, as a team only we are working. Why? Because to share the load. Okay, the same way load balancer also. Load balancer is the front end. Back end, we can have multiple devices, multiple servers. So those servers is having the resources to, okay, distribute the services. Right? Now, next to the database, obviously you know that we had just before I give an example like MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle. So database most probably it will be at the backend. Okay, database moreover it will be at the backend. So this is delivering as a backend services. Okay, so from the backend services, you can use a MySQL or MariaDB or Oracle. We have many database services. So those database services we can deliver for a front-end website. It can be attached as a backend server to have to store the data. It will receive the data from the front-end web servers and it will store it into the backend database. So that is what we can say like RDS, relational database service. And one of you asked like ELB is like a network load balancer. Exactly, it's like a network load balancer which distributes the traffic between the different endpoints, maybe the EC2 or S3. Yeah, obviously I can say like EC2. EC2 going to be the backend servers, not S3. To the backend, we are going to have EC2 instance. To the front, we are going to have the load balancer. Right, sir? You're saying right. Okay. So understood, friends? Yeah. Now, just before we talking about the relational database service, the same way DynamoDB also kind of a database, but there is a difference between RDS and DynamoDB. Right now, we need not to disclose that because it may confuse you. So this kind of thing which I can say like RDS kind of a SQL. Okay, we can say like SQL. DynamoDB is kind of a NoSQL. I'll tell you the difference between SQL and NoSQL in our upcoming session, in the particular session. So don't worry. Next to that, auto scaling. Auto scaling, friends, just now I told about the load balancing, right? In the load balancer backend, we have multiple servers. Just now you understood what is meant by load balancer. To the load balancer backend, we have multiple servers. So those servers, it is working as usual, but sometimes the load may increase. To the individual server, the load may increase. So that load will be, if it is more, okay, if the load is going high more and more, what will be the impact? The impact will be, it may lead to down the server. Say an example, if I'm giving a more workload to you, what will happen for you? You'll get tired and you may stop your process. The same way, when there is a more and more workload to a server, its CPU consumption, its CPU utilization going to be much high. So as a result, the server might be in a stopped state, or it will go for a downtime. So what will be the result? Actually, I'm having a multiple servers at the back end. A server is consuming more and more CPU utilization. Its CPU utilization going to up to 80% or 90%. So as a result, it may leads to down the server. So to avoid this downtime, only we are going for auto scaling. In auto scaling, what I can say, obviously, whenever I can set some threshold value. Obviously, I know that above 70%, if it crosses 70%, obviously the workload is high to the server. So what I can say, like above 80% or 70% it reaches 70% or 60%, I can set a threshold limit. So in the threshold limit, it can be a 70% or 80%. So that time, what I can say, I can notify an alarm. By means of alarm, I can come to know that the server going to be reaches this threshold limit, 70% or 80%. Then what I can do, immediately I can add up another server. Immediately I can go for add up another server. So that also can be happen automatically, not with any manual intervention. So automatically it can increase the server count based on the peak hours. So obviously I said, like as I just before, there is some e-commerce website. Okay, so there some offer due to some festive offer or anything, the concerned organization, they are giving the offer. So that time what will happen? More and more requests will be there. So backend servers may consume more CPU utilization or more hardware. So based on that, utilization is high, right? Obviously, the workload also will be high. Due to that, it may go for a downtime. So to avoid the downtime, we can set a threshold limit. When it crosses this point, when it crosses this value, it may add up the new servers. It may add up the same kind of new servers. So it can share. So I mean to say, like it's also kind of a load balancing. It can be work along with the load balancing, or I can select this service. The auto scaling can be associated with the load balancing. So thereby what it can happen, right? I can say like the services can be integrated together, auto scaling and load balancing. So it can add up a new servers and it can add to the load balancer. So it can share the load further. So a simple example, I can say like there is 5 servers was there. Okay, 5 servers are there. The 5 servers, okay, it can't withstand the load. It can't withstand the load. Why? Because it already crosses the 80% of utilization. Then what I can do, I can add up one more server. So the 5 server will become like a 10 server. When it was a 5 server, the load is distributed. I can select the 100% load is divided as a 5. So each server will handle the 20% of load. Now, when it multiplies into 1, I can select one more server added means, then it will become a 10 server, right? Instead of 5, I can keep like a 10 server. Why? Because all are using the, all reach a 70% of utilization. So to avoid the utilization more and more, what I did, I added one more server. So what it can happen, the new server came, right? Whatever the new server came, it can receive the request. So if it receives the request means, then the load will be shared. Then the load will be shared means, earlier each server is handling 20% of load. Now each server can handle 10% of load. So the load is divided into 50. Earlier it was 5, now it was 10. So this can happen automatically, the increasing the server. How it can increase the server? For that I can have a condition. What condition? If it reaches 70%, add one more server. Not one more server, it can be 2 more server, 3 more server, whatever it is. So as a result, 5 become 10 server. So totally the load will be reduced further. So thereby still you can deliver the same effective services. So there is no interrupt on your service. There is no downtime on your service. So you can deliver your service in better way. So for that you can use this auto scaling and load balancing and all. So why I'm giving this? So see guys, right now I didn't picturize it. I didn't tell the complete how the things is in working. But before getting into the actual session, you should be aware of this. That is the reason I'm explaining is somewhat in detail. Okay. And these are the concept also you can pick up it easily. That is the reason I'm telling about this Amazon elastic load balancer, auto scaling and those stuff. Okay, the same way, still a lot more services need to disclose, but in today's session itself we can't discuss all the things in detail. So I'll give a quick intro about one by one services up to the time. Okay, now let me move on to the next service, Amazon elastic cache. So Glenn has asked like, so autoscaler adds more server based on the threshold. but the load balancer balances across the available server. Correct, exactly correct. So load balancer doesn't add new servers. Auto scaling only adding the new servers. Auto scaling will scale up the resources the same way. When it reaches the threshold value, right, it gives the new server. The same way, when the threshold value is less than that, I mean to say, like when it is 70% of utilization, it can add a new server. The same way, when it is a 20% of utilization, it can decrease the servers as well. Got my point? So it can automatically increase the size and it can automatically decrease the size as well. Number of servers, the count, it can be increased and the count can be decreased based on the utilization, based on the threshold limit which we are setting. Okay. So yeah. So as you asked, we are going to predefine some image. So based on that only it is increasing and it is decreasing. So without any pre-configuration, right? Without any predefine, it can't do it. Okay. So fine. So one more question which you are raised. You means auto scaling like increase or decrease the resources based on the demand or traffic. Obviously, like Black Friday increases demand on goods and websites. So use auto scaling to add more resources to overcome the huge demands. Exactly. So by means of auto scaling only, you can manage your number of servers and number of services to be increased, number of servers to be decreased. So that you can do by this auto scaling actually. So the name itself, it is advertising, right? Auto scaling. Automatically it will increase the server. Automatically it is decrease the server. Okay. So 1 minute, friends. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so fine. Now what I'll do, I'll go for moving on to the next. So for some reason, I thought this was a 1 hour weekdays classes. Seems like this is okay. No worries, guys. Actually, I can complete it in 1 hour also. Today also, I'm going to complete in another 10 minutes. So don't worry. I'm saying like maximum time it will be 1.5 hours. Okay, so don't worry on that. Huh? So right. Usually it will be 9 to 10. Okay, it won't be more than that. But some cases it may extend up to 1.5 hour. Maximum it will be 10:30. Okay, so don't worry, guys. Okay, now as I said, still a lot more services need to discuss, but as much as possible, I'm not going to rush you, but as much as possible, we can have a quick intro about one-by-one services, and then I'll move on to the next. Okay, so further, I'll go to the remaining services. So next to that, friends, IAM. Okay, Amazon Elastic Cache. I'll tell about this in the exact session. Right now, we don't want to discuss about this. Okay, so it was somewhat deep concept, so that's the reason. Next to that, I'll go for identity and access management. IAM, which is used for managing the users, friends. It's kind of a user management. Say an example in the Windows or Linux, the Windows administrators, Linux administrators will be there, right? So who all are going to become? So we all are going to become like cloud engineers. Okay, we all are going to become a cloud solution architect. So since we are going to become an administrator on the cloud, we are going to become a cloud administrator, we should have a accessibility. We should access on the customer's account. So I mean to say, like whenever a new project arrives, right, for the customer, we can have a dedicated account. In the dedicated account only, we are going to use our cloud resources. I mean to say, like under the AWS account. Say an example, a simple example I can say. If you want to part of any social media, say an example, if you want to part of a Facebook, you need to have a Facebook account. If you want to use Instagram, you need an Insta account. If you want to use a Twitter, you need a Twitter account. The same way, if you want to work on AWS, you need a AWS account. If you want to work on Azure, you need an Azure account. If you want to use the cloud resources of GCP, you need a GCP account. The same way, you need a AWS account to utilize the AWS services. Okay, if you want to use the AWS services, you need to have a AWS account. You in the sense the customer, okay, the client. For the client, we need to have an AWS account. Under the AWS account only, we are going to have all the resources, cloud resources. So those cloud resources, I can select Elastic Compute Cloud or Simple Storage or EBS, load balancing, RDS, DynamoDB. So these all are the services, I can say, one by one services, and other services also is there. If you want to use all the services, okay, if you want to use all the services, basically you need to have a permission. So that permission only we can discuss about on this identity and access management. So if you want to use any one of the service, I should have a consent privilege. I should have a consent permission. Then only I'm able to utilize it. So IAM is completely defining the, see what it is identity. What is meant by identity? Identity is nothing but, say an example, what is your identity in your office? Anyone? What is your identity in your office? There will be unique identity for you in your office. Am I right? Employee ID. Let's take like employee ID. Employee ID is one of a unique ID. Correct. So the same way in AWS also, if you want to work on the AWS account, you need to have a dedicated identity for you. Say an example, my name @ of this. So it's nothing but a username and password, guys. Simply we can select credential. So that is what it is saying, like identity. So every individual cloud admin will have their own identity by means of username and password. Then only they can log in. So identity is nothing but authenticating you. Okay, AWS is going to be authenticating you in order to work on your client's account, client's AWS account. That is what identity. Okay, once you log in, what do you need actually? You need a consent privilege. If you have the consent privilege, then only you can work on the service. So next one is authentication. Okay, so authentication, which I can say like, okay, authentication, which I can say like, authentication is identity. Authorization, okay, I logged in. After logged in, I need to have a consent privilege. I need to have a consent permission. Then only I'm able to access all the services. So to access all the services, you need to have a relevant permission. So if you have a relevant permission, then only you can use the EC2 or simple store. Say an example, I can decide as an IAM administrator, okay, who is the administrator for the AWS account, they can decide which user can have which access. Whether he is from the background of Linux, then they can go for giving a EC2 access. He is from the background of storage, then I can assign a permission for simple storage service, EBS, like that. Then I can go for a load balancing. Okay, I can select ELB. So for ELB, I can say like what is the consent permission I can assign it. Say an example, I'm from the database background. Okay, so one engineer is there, he is from the background of database, so he is going to handle the relational database service. So based on the service he is going to be work, a consent permission need to be assigned. So with that only we can say about this. Okay, so finally I'll go quick intro about this VPC. Hope, I think you may aware of this virtual private cloud, and it is very close to you all. I think almost you people from the networking background, right? VPC is nothing but virtual networking, guys. So by means of virtual router, virtual firewall, virtual switch, and virtual gateway, we're able to build a complete virtual networking in the cloud. So the virtual networking in the cloud only, it is saying like VPC, virtual private cloud in AWS. In AWS, we are going to have a virtual private cloud. It is nothing but virtual networking actually. Okay, so I think today we can close it as of now, because in the first day itself, I don't want to make you much more stuff. So till now, any general queries about when we are discussing about this? Anyhow, guys, I'm going to tell about in detail on the particular session. Okay, yeah. So thank you, guys. Thanks for your thing. And you mentioned about the I want to tell about the pricing overall. Okay, why? Because in the first day session, right after completing this session, still a lot more need to be discussed, but still you need to be know about the pricing. So for about the pricing, you please contact Mr. Sagar and Abdul. Okay, and the first 3-day session is going to be free, so don't worry. But meanwhile, okay, any of the 3-day sessions are free only. But meanwhile, you can touch with Sagar and Abdul regarding this pricing. Why? Because you need to be aware of this also, right? Anyhow, remaining 3-day sessions you can attend, not a problem. But before do that, you can touch with Sagar and Abdul to get about the pricing detail and everything. Okay. And tomorrow I can continue where I dropped. Okay. So fine, guys. So shall we conclude now? Okay. So it's a very nice session, I think, I hope. And
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you all. Thanks for participating. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you all. Yeah.
Thanks, Vinky. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. Thank you. Nice to have you all. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Good night. Have a nice day. Yeah. Thank you all. Bye.